Decisions. And welcome. Thank you very much for joining me in the studio where I paint away the stress of everyday life here in Wales, UK. So, yeah, it's been very bitterly cold here. So I thought today I'd paint a bit of a stormy seascape. I thought, what's that down there? There we are. Let's put that in the bin. Yeah, I thought let's paint a bit of a stormy seascape. So I'd given myself an horizon line, and I thought, well, it's going to be rocks and things, so I might bring some rocks down by there, put some rocks there, maybe put some rocks there, and I get a nice break-in wave coming over, something like that. That's what I thought I'd do today. So let's roll the sleeves up. Let's get some kitchen roll. And as we do that, let's play the introduction, and then we'll talk about the palette.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time.
So on the palette, I decided to put some Prussian blue, a little bit of Hooker's green, some cadmium yellow, some titanium white, some burnt umber, and some black. So, yes, let's get a little bit of moisture on my brush. I'm going to get some white paint. Just load the brush up like that. And then a little bit of Prussian blue. So I didn't make a video last week. I actually used a video that I'd previously made many years ago, in 2014 in actual fact. And it was a little bit out of date. You know, the video was a little bit wishy-washy. So I had to do a digital enhancement on that. So basically went in with my software, and I just tried to fix as many issues as I possibly can. And it was actually filmed in the old square format. So it was an old video, and it was a lot of information in there. A lot of information in that video. So it was a shame not to actually revamp that and get it out there. So I did a little bit with the old audio as well, because I'm recording on a separate audio device. Where's it gone? It's there. I'm recording on a separate audio device and not my camera. Now if I switch over to my camera, it's going to sound like this, which is not that good. Now the cameras I'm using audio at the moment are okay, but not as good as this format, which is I'm using a little external recording device. So I sync all my audio up to my video, and that's why it takes a little bit of time sometimes to get that done. Anyway, I might actually do a little bit more of that in the future and see if I can find some old videos, some old footage, and try and revamp them and maybe put them out occasionally, and we'll see how we go from there. So with that said, let's get back to the painting. So I'm just applying the Prussian blue and a little bit of white, as you can see. And that Prussian blue, it does a lovely. If there's a little bit of glare, I do apologise. We'll dry that off in a second. I want just a little bit of black, and Prussian blue, just a touch like that. And I just want to darken this area up in there, just like that, like as if there's a bit of shadow in that sky coming down. Like that. And this is going to be a little bit lighter then around, so I'm just adding a little bit of white just to lighten that up and blending that all together nice and smoothly like that. So you get that shadow coming in, so you've got that depth there. This is what I'm trying to get trying to show, I should say. Not old. Why am I going to get old as something? Oh, I don't know. It's a bit more blue. Just coming in like this. Trying to paint a little bit of dark colour over a little bit of a lighter colour. So one darker tone, slightly darker tone over a lighter tone, and it's going to give you that illusion of depth then. So let's get a little bit more light coming in. There we go. And then again, I like the tone slightly over the darker tone, and that's going to give you a little bit more depth again. Just getting that sky to look a little bit more bit of a stormy sky. There we go. I want this a lot lighter there. There's a reason I'm putting this light in at the moment. So I want a little bit of light. I'm just going to take that excess off my brush. I'm just going to make that little light area there like that. And bring this down. Excuse me a second. Bring these clouds in. I don't spend a lot of time on clouds and things because I'm making a video. If I was painting this as a painting, then I would take a lot longer and I'd be a lot more precise with it. But all I'm trying to show today, like I normally do, is show you that I can do something in about 20-30 minutes, and I want you to be able to do that as well. So let's just get this. It's just practice. These are what I like to call practice painting. So I just love to play, come out in the studio, sometimes on a Sunday, because I always pre-record these 24 to 48 hours before I put them out, obviously, because it takes that much length of time to actually edit these things, because all this has got to be edited. It really has. So a little bit lighter just down there like that. Got a little bit of that. My canvas is moving. Let me just stick that back down. There we go. Just blurring it out. Just get that like that. Oh, look at that. It's a lovely sky. It's a lovely sky. We need to put a bit of warmth in that in a second. So, with that in mind, I'm just going to wash my brush. Now, this may go a little bit green, but that's okay. We can live with it. I hope it doesn't. So I just got a little bit of yellow. Just taking the excess off, and I just want to put a little bit of yellow in the sky, just like this. Not much, just a touch of yellow. Maybe there's a little bit of light coming through. The sky like that. I don't know. Let's get some more light white, I should say. No, light white. Just on the tip of the brush so I can get some highlights in. A little bit over there. Just catching a little bit of light. That's a stormy old rain cloud. Ooh, I don't know if it's been raining or it's just going to rain, but that looks quite menacing. I'll just put a few little stringy clouds, because the further away they are, the smaller, the more closer, compacted they are. And it gives you that illusion of depth and distance. There we go. Anyway. There we go. That's okay. I can live with that. I think that's a good sky in the time I've had it and been able to do it. So let's get some Prussian blue. A little bit of black in that Prussian blue. I just want to darken this Prussian blue up now. Now, what I suggest you do is dry this with a hairdryer, put a little bit of masking tape or paint this tape across there, and then paint up to the line. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get my milk stick, and I'm just going to try and draw a line. And you've got to make sure there's enough moisture on your paint to be able to do this. Just like that. Whoosh. That's nice, I like that. So let's get that. A bit of moisture, not a lot of water, never more than 47% water. That's very important. Never over thin your acrylic paints. Let's just bring that down like that. Let's get a little bit of white on the brush, not too much. Bit more light there, and a little bit darker there because there's a lot less light there. So but it's a lot more light there. So I'm still using this Prussian blue. I'm not using another blue. I just want to keep this tone of colour come in, and I want to put a line just like that there, I think. There we go. Let's get this dark colour, a little bit of green. Little bit of green and blue now. Let's get that little bit of green. Green and blue works really well together. If you look at your color wheel, the opposite of blue is orange, and the opposite of violets are green. So what we need to do, we need to get a little bit of orange into this painting now to be able to get that balance of color. So maybe put a little bit of orange, a little bit of sunlight or something like that. I am quite decided yet, but I want to try and work a little bit more complementary. So that all helps with the illusion. Let's just get that in there. Let's just darken that back up. There we go. Maybe I lost that. Just a touch more black on. There we go. Nicely done. I quite like that. And you can see that I'm still using this one brush. This is a 3/4 inch short flat. I'm not using anything more than that really. Not at the moment. I might just do the soap painting in just with one brush. What I'm trying to say is that you don't need all this equipment really. You don't. These paint manufacturers, they wanted to buy all their stuff, and they think, oh, this is the best brush and this is the one you want, and oh no, it doesn't matter. What we need to do is be able to master our tools. Most tradesmen, plasterers, plumbers, carpenters, or mechanics, I don't know if I've missed anybody out, I apologize, but most tradespeople master their tools. They're masters of their tools. You need to be a master of your brush. Brushes work in the same way, no matter what brush you've got really. It all works roughly the same way. You can get different effects by using it and dragging it across like that to what you're doing if you're doing it like this. You can get grass effect if you want to put grass in and stuff like that, which we'll do in a second. And lifting the pressure off the brush allows you to have a softer touch by pushing the brush. Then you can apply a lot more paint. And yeah, we need to just get some of this water in place now. And I've got to put some rocks in. So basically working on just a colour, to some shadows, tones, and different tones of colour, just like this. I'm pulling the brush back like that. I'm pulling it down like this. I can hear the seagulls actually. Well, I'm not far from from the seaside where I live. I don't know if you can hear them off my headset, because I got my headset turned down quite low, so it doesn't pick up a lot of ambient sound. But I can hear some seagulls. Funny enough, and I'm painting a sea scene, a seascape, sea scene. There we are. So we've got the underpainting. That's what I call an underpainting in place. Let's get some burnt umber, some Mars black. Burnt umber and Mars black, there we are, because I want to put a couple of maybe rocks and things there like this. That's good. I like that. I'm going to put something in the foreground, just like that. Boom, 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 boom. So we've got some rocks. I'll put a bit more. I'm going to dry this off with a hairdryer in a second, but I just want to maybe put some rocks and things there as well. Just going to fill up the area with rocks, and why not? Quite a rocky, it's rocky around where I live. Dark and light. Maybe a bit of sand down there. So if you want to put a bit of sand in, let's get some burnt umber, some yellow, a little bit of white, and get that nice type of sandy colour. There we go. I don't know where that's going. Maybe it's just going up a little bit of a bank or something there like that. Let's put a little bit of that colour then, just in there. And to save ourselves some time, we'll get a plastic or credit card. We'll just put some highlights. I only do that really because it's just speed. It saves me doing all the hard work. Oops. Or putting highlights in. There we go. And let's just get that done with a hairdryer, and we'll go on to the next stage. So you may be wondering, because I've got a separate audio device, how can I sync my video recorder up to my cameras? Because the camera 1 has got a mic on, camera 2 has got a mic on, camera 3 has got a mic on, and camera 4 has got a mic on. So I'm syncing 4 cameras up to one sound device. So what I do is camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, syncing cameras. And then when I come to edit, because that's the loudest point, it'll actually sync up to that, and I can look at my editing suite and sync all the sound up to that particular file, and we're away to go. So there we are, there's a little lesson in editing for you. Been doing this for over 10 years now, so it's a bit of fun. I really do enjoy YouTube. So I thought maybe I might need to switch a brush a little bit. I want to put a little bit of highlight on these rocks. I'm going to use a bit of this sand colour, a bit of this burnt umber, just mix a colour like that. I don't know what colour that is. It doesn't really matter. I want to put a little bit of colour into these rocks. So I'm just going to plot it on like that, and I'm just going to rub that in with my finger Just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Don't ever have to work too hard. At the end of the day, it's painting. There's no right or wrong way to paint with a painting. So there we go. Let's get a little bit more light. Let's just put a bit of light just here and there like that. And the job's a good one. There we go. There we go. So we got to think of this wave now. So let's get some white on the brush. And let's have a look. Now this wave is coming. Like that. That's a little wavelet coming in like this. Bit more paint on the brush. That's fading over there. We got a big one then coming over. Just like that. Bush. Look at this. Brush just underneath there and get that bit of foam coming through. Get a couple of these little marks coming in like this. Get a bit of water. There's always a little bit of water that goes under these rocks there. Just edges the rocks off, look. Like that. And there's always a little bit of water that comes down. Maybe a splashing a little bit there. Like that. It's a little bit of brighter paint, or less contaminated paint. There we are. Put some more marks there like that. And then just with a dry brush, just try and move some water across, or some water shapes across. Let's get some more white paint. Just on the crest of the wave there like that. Because that's where it's going to be brightest. And that's going to be coming down like that. A bit more bright across that edge. I'm not going to do too much, but you get the idea. Get a brush, go back into some Prussian blue and some black. And I'm just going to put a little bit of, that's a bit too dark. A little bit of shadow coming down. Send these waves. Just like that. Don't be afraid to use your finger. You're not supposed to. Oh, look at that. I splashed my paint all over my canvas now. Oh, well. You're not supposed to use your finger, but that's okay. Just put a few little shadow marks in, just like this. Do. There we are. That's looking pretty good, isn't it? I quite like that. Let's put a couple of seagulls flying in the sky. They don't look right if they're black, so let's just put a little bit of white on them. Messed that one up. Doesn't matter. Let's get a bit of green. Just put a bit of, maybe a little bit of, I did say I was going to put some orange in, but it doesn't matter. Just a little bit of grass, maybe. There's a little bit of that. What we got with us is a little bit of this, like seagrass. It could be seaweed. There we go. It just could be seaweed lying around there. Just like that. Who knows? You make it up as you go along. A bit of seaweed in the water. There you go. I'm happy with that today. I tell you what we could do, just to ease this one side up a bit, because it looks a bit bland over there. Let's just put a few. Oh, just rub them in with your finger like that, just. There we go. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. You make it up. There we are. Little test for you. Have a go. I'm not too happy with the seagull, but he's okay. So thank you very much for joining me in the studio again today, and I will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.